What's up, everyone? Yes, I am doing a voiceover because I think talk throughs are really annoying. This is me unpackaging my very belated birthday gift to myself. I bought hair clips, and it only turned out to be just one. And here's me struggling to put it on. And that's the sensitive side of my scalp. And so now I'm trying it on the other side. That was also me just contemplating whether or not I made a good purchase. And voila, it's on my head. Here I am contemplating what I should do for this tutorial. So I was gonna start with my base, but I actually forgot that I needed to moisturize first, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to moisturize. Technically, then you prime, but I don't know. I don't really like the texture of primer on my face, but you know, if it works for you, it works for you. So what I'm doing here is I am putting foundation concealer on my eyelids. The product that I'm using is from Sem. I think that's how you pronounce it. I bought it from a little store in Koreatown in Manhattan. Don't remember the name, but that's where I got it from. And so I am concealing my eyelids. I'm blending upward, kind of. Not kind of, I'm actually blending upward into the eyebrows because when you put product on your eyebrows, I noticed that the product stands out, if that makes sense, or the color kind of pops out a little more when you put concealer or foundation on your eyebrow. You guys just saw I brushed through my eyebrows with a spoolie, and I'm about to use the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Ebony. That was me giving up on trying to get it to focus on the camera. And yes, the spoolie's in my mouth. Don't judge me. So here I'm tapping lightly on the product. I know some people like to tap off the excess on the lid, which is what I used to do, but I noticed that didn't do anything. So what I do now is I lightly stroke my eyebrow. I like to go for the somewhat natural brow, even though I know it doesn't really look natural, quote unquote. It's like a mix of glam and natural brows. I'm going in, I'm doing my thing, I'm making that arch. I don't have like a specific structure for how I do it. I have a natural shape. So I just follow that shape and I just shade in as I go along. But I don't shade in too much of the front. See, notice how I'm brushing upward to make it look like those hairs did grow on my face. That I'm giving the illusion that it's natural, but they are not. In fact, they are not. And that's okay, because makeup isn't to look more natural anymore. So I am gonna use the Soft Glam palette by ABH. A holy grail. A holy grail. I do not own another palette. This is the only palette I own, and some of y'all can probably tell. But I'm going in with the shade Tempura. You can use setting powder if you want on your lids. I just like to use Tempura because, it's right there, you know? So, with the same palette, because, again, it's the only one I own, I am going to use the shade Dusty Rose to start the wing part of the eyeliner. Whenever I'm trying to do an eyeliner look, I always just do the winged part, and I never actually do the rest, if that makes sense. I only really do that because I have double eyelids and you just end up not seeing them anyway. So like all that work for what? For what? What was the reason? So now I go in with a darker shade, Mulberry, and I'm underlining the wing. So with that exact same color, I'm going to start doing the graphic liner. I start in the middle. I find it easier to start in the middle. So what I'm doing, I'm kind of going in an outward motion with my angled brush. I kind of align it with the end of my eyebrow. And so instead of going straight towards my nose, I kind of go downward and meet in my inner corner of the eye. I'm kind of using that like sharper tip of the brush, just to really get that precision of the line. She's looking a little thick though, which is why we have our handy dandy Q-tip to fix our mistakes. So actually what I'm doing is trying to make the line thinner by a tad and also winged out. I don't know if it worked or it did anything, but I thought that it did something, so I did it. So the look that I did for my birthday shoot, I chose 2 different colors to do the graphic liner instead of just one. I don't know, I just wanted to spice it up, switch it up a bit. So I'm going to use the shade Rustic. And I'm just going to do the same thing. Make the wing, underline the wing, and then do the graphic part. So for the underline and the graphic, I use the shade Noir. As you can see, I messed up. So I'm going back in with our best friend, the Q-tip. I'm also going to pack tempera on top because with the Q-tip, it kind of takes off the concealer job that we did earlier in the beginning. So you know when like we color inside the lines, that's kind of what we're doing. We're back in first grade. I'm choosing one of the 2 shimmer shades, either glistening or fairy. Either or works. I like fairy because I'm a fairy. And that is our graphic liner. Okay, now we're gonna do the base. I'm going in with my Real Technique sponge and I'm going to spot conceal. I didn't really feel like doing a full base because I don't like wearing a full face of makeup when I know I'm not going anywhere and I'm not seeing anybody. And we all know that it's quarantine time, coronation, if you will. I'm using the concealer from the same brand as the foundation, the SEM. I'm in the shade 1.25. I am blending like crazy. Like crazy. Because I don't like my makeup unblended. I imagine none of you do. I'm using the same concealer and putting them under my eyes because I don't be sleeping. And you can tell. Now I'm going in with my big fluffy brush to set my concealer. I'm using the Shiramura setting powder. So I'm just putting it all over my face. I'm not really baking. I personally am not the biggest fan of baking, only because I think it's pretty time consuming. Granted, I also didn't do a full base. So yeah, I guess it really depends. I just get really bad flashback when I take pictures of when I baked, and it's just really not cute. For bronzer and contour, I like to use the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer. I believe it's in the darkest shade. Noticed how I said bronze and contour? Because for the longest time, I thought they were the same thing. But did that stop me? No, it did not. So look at me chiseling my face. Now I'm going in with blush. I'm not even gonna attempt to say the brand name, but it's Joynur. I believe it's a French brand. I'm going in with the darkest shade, and looking back at it, I think I put on a little too much, but you know, there's no such thing as too much. Lately, I've been putting blush on the bridge of my nose and on the tip as well because I've noticed that it's the palest feature of my face for some reason. I've always felt like there was something missing, and I would always be like, why is my nose so pale out of my entire face? Shout out my friend Yuli was like, just put blush on your nose. And I was like, oh, wow, the difference that it made. So I'm going in with my Becca highlighter, also another holy grail. I'm using my fingers. I don't really use a brush for highlight. If I want it to be more accentuated, I'll just put more pressure and a little more product on the high points of my face. So I'm using Kiss Lashes that my friend Julia gave me. Shout out Julia. So this is me attempting to curl the falsies. I've seen James Charles do it once in his video that he did with Rosa or Adam Ray, okay? And you can see that it's not working. I think the lash was just longer than the curler itself, so I gave up. Also realizing how long this video has gotten, so we're just gonna skip the part where I put on these lashes. It's just watch a tutorial on that if you don't know how to do that. I'm using the Urban Decay chilled makeup setting spray. This is also a really good holy grail. Yes, I'm emphasizing it here because it is really good. And last but not least, we are moisturizing our lips. We're going with the natural lips because I personally like my natural lip shade. I rarely ever use lipsticks. I usually go with lip gloss or like a nude shade for my lips. So that is it. Thank you for watching. I don't plan on putting this out anywhere, but if I do, please sub if you want to. I really don't care. Bye everyone, stay safe.